What is going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993 back up here live for another live review of this past Friday night's edition of Smackdown. It was the November 25th, 2022 edition that took place in Providence, Rhode Island. We're going to go over everything that took place on the go-home show for this episode of Smackdown, which was not easy for me to catch. So, for some reason, there was a football game on Fox on Friday. I guess either ran late or, I don't know, like ran late or like something else, came across it. And because of that, it affected the start time. So I turned on SmackDown, and then that all happened. And then I kept thinking it was something with, the cable. But where I was at, even after people started saying that everything was fine, I still was not able to watch it. And I was tired. I don't think I even made it till 11 o'clock on Friday night before I went to bed. So I ended up DVRing the repeat at 11 o'clock, and I just watched that Saturday morning before attending my second Thanksgiving. So it was a journey for me to try to watch SmackDown this past Friday. But of course, we will review SmackDown now. And I plan on I've recorded a couple videos, maybe a few more. I'm not sure I'll get to them tonight or not. But I will review Survivor Series before I go to bed tonight to at least catch up on all that. And with that being said, I am also working on a special I want to do that I plan on doing tomorrow before I watch Raw. So I will be doing a wrestling special stream tomorrow, just for a little bit of fun. But that will be tomorrow night. We still got, again, this and my Survivor Series review to do tonight. So let's focus here. So SmackDown this past week I thought was solid. It wasn't great this past week. We'll get to Survivor Series, later on tonight. But content for WWE this week was odd this week. Because Raw was it wasn't horrible, but nothing else really happened. SmackDown had a return that could have been a little bit better than it was. A storytelling moment, though, that got me a little more intrigued in the men's War Games match, of course, with the Bloodline. We had a very good exclusive segment that I will talk about as well, that they actually aired on SmackDown, since the main star that involved is on SmackDown. So there was some things that I liked about SmackDown. Everything else to me was just meh. Or in the words of the current AEW World Champion, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, or as Regal said this past week, Mr. Friedman, mid. So we will talk about this episode. And again, we will, of course, roll on to Survivor Series as well. We got Tyler in a live chat saying how he thought this is bad. Why have Big Boy Braun lose? And Horseface sucks. And I live reviewed Survivor Series last night. It's typical stuff. And we all know how much he loves Ronda Rousey. Of course, I actually will have something to say about her in the Survivor Series review, though, as well. We'll save that for then, though. But thank you as always for joining me, Tyler, and anybody else who decides to join the stream or watches this thereafter. But we will do SmackDown, and of course I will just talk about upcoming stuff in the Survivor Series review, of course. So we will get to that though later on. So let's talk about SmackDown here. So the big story going into SmackDown the show is, first off, that we had the men's War Games Advantage match, which ended up being a tag match with Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, versus the Usos. Were they feeling Usy tonight or not? And of course, the tag match was for the men's War Games Advantage. But also, the big story that was hyped up for this show is who is going to be the final team member for the women's War Games match. Which got that out right away first. So, as the show started, whenever the show opened up, Bayley's team is in the ring. And they were like, all right, come out. Who is it? And then Bianca Belair comes out and says, we ain't come here alone. And then instantly, boom, it's Becky Lynch. She returns, and then just a brawl breaks out between them, and that was basically how that opening segment went. I believe later on in the show, if I can find it. Come on, where is this? Here it is. Becky was interviewed later on in the show, asking about, her return. She says her shoulder is still banged up, but she's been sitting at home thinking about how to destroy Damage Control, since storyline-wise, they wrote, even though she had hurt her shoulder at SummerSlam, they had Damage Control storyline-wise write her out of the match. And no better time than tomorrow. Everyone's tough until the man comes around, which here's good saying again, because Becky Lynch is indeed the man again, and she even came out with that on her Tron, not Big Time Bex. Again, I'm sorry, she tried her best to that heel run when she was told she was coming back as a heel, but damn, it did not click. I mean, the only times it was clicking, of course, when her and Bianca feuded, because that was the story there. Like, her and Liv didn't do much. I keep forgetting that she had a match with Dewdrop at Royal Rumble. She did, though, have a good match with Lita at Elimination Chamber. Don't forget that. That was excellent. Other than that, like I said, the heel character, it wasn't for her. But then, of course, she turned face at SummerSlam, and all is right again with the man, Becky Lynch. Feels good to see her back again, of course. I will say, though, this return was kind of meh. Like, the way they did it. Like, honestly, because the way they did it was kind of like, we're here, here's our fifth member, that's it. It's like, I felt that, first off, why couldn't we have done this on Raw? Like, if they could have had, say, hey, we're not going to reveal the last member tonight, but they had the War Games match, of course, they had the big beatdown, and then have Becky Lynch return on Raw. I just didn't like how they showed, like, okay, come out here, who's the fifth member? Here she is. Boom, kick ass, like, right now. Like, that was, I didn't like that. Or, I would have rather had them maybe pull what they did with Kevin Owens at NXT TakeOver War Games in 2019, and when it came time for the fifth member to enter the match, they're not there yet, then have Becky Lynch come out and make her return. Like, wasn't really that exciting. It was kind of like, okay, come out, who's your fifth member, here she is, kick everybody's asses, and that's it, we're gone. I didn't like that. But it's good to see Becky back. My prediction was right. I kept saying, from the moment this War Games match was teased, Becky Lynch should be in that War Games match. I will also say, too, because this is kind of, I was going to wait to Survivor Series, I can say this one now to be safe. I'm very surprised they didn't have Candice LeRae come back yet. And tease her, being in the War Games match, and, like, someone, like, either, like I said, like, either, like, maybe her or, like, Alexa Bliss, who really needs a character change. Dear God, does she ever. Have one of them get, like, kayfabe written out, and have Becky come in and replace her instead. One of them instead. I'm surprised they didn't do that swerve. But, nonetheless, we then had, our first of our two, SmackDown World Cup semifinals match. The first one was Pete Dunne versus Santos Escobar in what was, of course, a good match. The rest of the Brawling Brutes came out with Pete Dunne, and of course, the rest of Legado del Fantasma was in the corner for Santos Escobar. It was a good match, of course. Off distraction, no, wait, I think, no, I'm sorry. The Brawling Brutes weren't out there, but they were backstage brawling with the Usos later on during the match, which distracted Pete Dunne. And off the distraction, And then, of course, Zelina Vega, trying to distract the referee. Cruz del Toro and a Joaquin Wilde ran interference. And off the distraction, Santos Escobar was able to hit the Phantom Driver and get the victory and go to the finals. Awesome. As like you say, Cruz del Toro, Raul Mendoza, Joaquin Wilde, meh. They don't really, light the world on fire for me. But Santos Escobar, I have big hopes for him. I really think he's going to be something big on the main roster for sure. So I am definitely glad to see they gave him the opportunity to get all the way to the finals of the World Cup tournament. And he will take on either Ricochet or Braun Strowman for the finals. And then the winner will go on to get a future Intercontinental title shot against Gunther. Which, by the way, my fiance claims that Gunther has the body of a 50-year-old man, she thinks. I don't know why, but, Anyways, after that match, we then get a promo with Bray Wyatt. He comes out, and he tells us all to shout for me, bosom. Just kidding, he did not say that, but I will be plugging that at the end of this stream, of course. But he comes out, and as he does, introduces himself, and says he likes to think that he has a good grip on who he is. People stare and whisper at him behind his back, and he never minds, and it doesn't bother him. He pretends though he doesn't see, but he does. He understands what people think he is. His entire life, he's been looked at like he's a rabid animal, but he's not. He knows what people want to see out of him. They just want to see the monster. They want to see the Fiend, right? You want to see the monster, right? You want to see the show? So come on, all. Come see the human tornado destroy himself. He finds it harder to explain the burden he's been through. And he knows how he comes off, so he wants to be truthful. He is not the one who attacked L.A. Knight. And then we have Uncle Howdy appearing on the Tron, talking about the world being built on lies and telling us to open our eyes and wake up. And I guess there was like a thing, like a phone number flashing that you could call, and I guess I forgot what this is about Bray Wyatt again being a liar and just cryptic and whatnot. But LA Knight was then backstage, and he says he didn't get to enjoy Thanksgiving because he got pulled out from under a pile of Bray, or also known as a pile of trash. And now he gets to stand out there and vomit his lies to the entire world without a single consequence. If it weren't for those damn injuries, he kicked Bray Wyatt's keister in front of everybody. Yeah! And later on, we did find him once again under a bunch of debris once again. And then there's supposed to be a sign again that it looks like that Bray Wyatt, again, or one of his other personalities, did indeed attack LA Knight. Of course, the match was not set up, though, for Survivor Series. So when is this going to happen? I'm not sure. I don't know if they're going to wait all the way till Rumble for this match to happen, but again, a feud though that seems to be very character, development built, is going to need more time. So I don't know, maybe for Christmas or something middle next month. I'm not sure when this match is going to happen, but a little repetition happening here with Bray Wyatt, yes. But again, I feel like, you're taking the baby steps. I don't feel like it's moving that slow of a snail's pace yet, but in a week or two, if we're still getting the same thing, it's got to kind of, okay, pick up the pace here a little bit with this. But, we'll see where this goes. As LA Knight's getting, everything being dropped on him. Yeah! We got that, which was, good. Moving on, though, we have Hit Row coming out, and they're taking on the Viking Raiders, who, of course, have Sarah Logan, but she is now officially called Valhalla as teased in the promos, which, okay, fine. Because when I think Sarah Logan, I just still think of what she was before, and to be honest, I was not that impressed with her. As he was saying, I thought she was nothing more than a jobber. She really didn't have much time in NXT. As Ruby Soho, though, said in her Talking Joker interview, I think they wanted like a Joker, a Harley Quinn, and a punk rocker, basically he had 3 people he had in mind for a stable, and he just picked those 3 from NXT. But again, Sarah Logan was nowhere near ready. But in this new role, new character, more so like valet style, maybe eventually wrestle, who knows. I'm intrigued. I do like, here's the thing, like the Viking Raiders, yes, I hated how they look. Again, a name change drained the hell out of them. When they're facing, they're coming out to going, Raid, Raid, Raid. Like, they had no characters. But with this heel turn, and now adding in Valhalla, they're getting a little more character back to them. And here's where I'm like, okay, we may be getting somewhere with them. Could they be called the War Raiders again? I'd love to hear me called War Raiders and Hanson in a row again, but I guess we can still get a dominating, group with the Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar, which I can't say Eric without thinking of the whole Eric the Clown segment from Seinfeld. But, that is what it is. But the Viking Raiders did defeat Hit Row with the Ragnarok on Ashante the Adonis. Anyways, though, after this, we had this exclusive segment that got shared on social media. Now, I saw this. I think it was Thursday night, I believe it was, that I saw this. I can't remember exactly when, but there was a segment on Twitter that I saw that, of course, was probably leaked elsewhere as well. But Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley were making their way to the front porch. And Dom's like, they're going to like you. You're going to fit very well. And I'm thinking, Ray, Ray knows who she is. And, like, what in the world makes you think you're going to be allowed to spend Thanksgiving dinner with your family? But they go to the door, they knock on the door, and Angie Mysterio answered the door first. And basically was like, not the right time, not the right time. Door shuts. Door opens again. And Ray is at the door. He's like, Dom, this is not the right time. I demand you to leave. And she's not allowed in here either. Oh, come on. And all Dom could say was, but come on. It's the holidays. It's the holidays. It's okay. Like, no, it's not. Not the time. He goes to shut the door. As the door's about to about to go shut, we have Rhea push the door open, and then there was a 2-on-1 assault on Rey Mysterio. And as they beat down Ray, Dom's saying still, like, it's okay, it's the holidays. And then he's like, oh, look at these pictures and this and that and whatnot. He takes one of them and, like, slams it onto Ray. And he takes a broom and, like, smacks... Ray was in a boot for some reason. I'm not sure if Ray's hurt or something. But, slammed it onto Ray as well. So, yeah, Dominic Mysterio shows up at the Mysterio household with Rhea Ripley, like, oh, it's okay, they're gonna like you. And that's like, it's the holidays, it's fine. Bam! Oh, no, it's okay, it's fine. Bam! Oh, it's okay, it's fine. Dad smashes the foot and whatnot. I think my family likes you or whatnot. I'm just like, Dom. I mean, again, like, in-ring, yeah, he's regressed a little bit, but I keep saying, I really am entertained by Dominic Mysterio's, like, new, like, douchebag type attitude. He really has, again, like, he's really gained a lot more of a personality. But yeah, I'm really loving this build. I'm really looking forward to that match with Ray and Dominic at WrestleMania. Of course, the proper time to start building towards that angle, of course, definitely is the Rumble. I still feel like what will happen is we'll have, like, Ray and Dominic go at each other in the Rumble, and maybe we'll finally see Ray, like, put his hands on his son, and after pushing him around, we'll hopefully see the match become official for WrestleMania, which that should be pretty good. That, again, a lot of these matches lately that have been really good for WWE, the main reason is the ones that are just tell the story, like, so good. Because we're not used to seeing stories being told in matches. Like, matches that may not... Like, when we talk about the main event for Survivor Series later on tonight, the match, good, but what's really going to stand out about that match, again, is just typically the storytelling. And the moments in that match that's going to stand out the most. Which, of course, will be starred by yours truly, the master strategist, the honorary Oos, Sami Zayn, who was feeling very oosy last night. On SmackDown, though, not too sure. We'll get to him in a second. Anyways, we then had the second semifinals World Cup match. It is indeed Braun Strowman versus the flippity-flopper Ricochet, who seemed to have come out ready for Braun Strowman. Not much happened in the match, other than the fact that Gunther came out, who was terrified of Strowman last week. And I absolutely hated how they booked that last week. Having Gunther come out, he was a coward against Strowman. That was just horrible. But all of a sudden this week, he's not scared anymore because he came out and off the distraction, Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser caused a distraction. And off of those distractions, Ricochet gets a roll-up of victory with a crucifix pin. So Braun Strowman loses to a flippity-flopper. I mean, he kind of deserved that after, making that comment on Twitter, which he's had a history in the past couple of years of making some comments on Twitter that got him heat. Anyways, though, after the match, so Imperium attacks Strowman, and then Ricochet still manages to save him, and then, Strowman, basically, thanks him for it and whatnot, but you'd think Strowman being a mad monster would Ricochet down. I don't know, again, moments like that just make me feel, especially with that flippity-flopper comment, I really think Braun Strowman needs to be a heel again. I'm sorry, I guess a babyface, yes, since returning, they've, eased back on him. I don't feel like he's at the stage where it's okay, he has to either win or he's nothing, basically. He's not at that stage right now, but I still think you gotta turn him heel. I still think, sometime down point down the line, him and Gunther, sure, but especially when they were teasing Gunther being afraid of Strowman last week, I'm like, come on. Okay, if they do a thing where they have, Gunther, is able to avoid Strowman tonight, then okay. If they keep him as the only fear, only big obstacle, then okay. I would still like to see Gunther and Sheamus at WrestleMania again, though, for the trilogy, where Sheamus does win the only title he's never won before. But if that's how we're going to build a WrestleMania match with Gunther and Braun Strowman for the IC title, I guess it's not the worst, but again, if you're going to have Gunther be afraid of Braun Strowman but nobody else, like I said, keep them separate and make him the only person that he's afraid of. Only one, please. So, of course, we will see. But then here was, of course, the best parts of this show, in my opinion. We have a segment backstage where we see Sami Zayn making his way to the Bloodline's locker room. But Kevin Owens stops him. Sami tries to get Owens to back off, but Owens wants him to listen to him. He says what happens when he does or says something that pisses one of the Bloodline members off. While he's talking, though, the door is cracked open, and you see Jey Uso eavesdropping through the door. Owens asks Sami how many times he's had to bail Sami out because he said or did something that pisses everyone off. Or someone off. What does he think of Roman Reigns? What does he think Roman Reigns will do when he pisses him off? Just think about it. Owens says if it were him, he'd strike first while he can. If not, he's going to be in big trouble. Of course, Sami turns around and Jey then comes out and asks, where have you been? Because they could have used him earlier when they were brawling with the Brawling Brutes backstage. Jey asks if he's talked to everybody since getting here. And Sami lies. He's like, I just got here. And he's talking to him now. But Jey says everything's cool. And then lets him through. But obviously, that wasn't quite the case, though. As we found out, of course, in at Survivor Series. The story building up to the big moment in the Survivor Series. In the War Games match. Anyways. Let's see here. After this, we see a segment with Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler laying out Raquel Rodriguez and smashing her arm into a road case. And then they have some bland promo where Ronda's like, guess there's no match tonight because accidents happen. And then they say Shotzi should stay at the kiddie table because she's not ready. Just a very bland, like phoned in promo, basically. That's just like, like, I don't know. Again, is Ronda? I'll save this for Survivor Series because I have some stuff I want to say about Ronda. But then, anyways, Shotzi Blackheart came out, and it was supposed to be a tag match with Ronda and Shayna versus Shotzi and Raquel. But they're trying to write off Raquel. But then Shotzi Blackheart was going 2-on-1, kind of doing again this whole underdog thing. But Raquel did come back down, but eventually they got the victory because Ronda just attacked Raquel's bad arm and got Raquel to tap out by submission. There's that match. And then backstage, you have the Usos getting ready for their match. And then Shotzi gives an update on Raquel, saying her arm was broken before the match, and now her elbow is dislocated. This isn't the first time she's been bullied, but it's the first time someone's had her back, and she'll never forget that. So now it's personal. She's going to tear Ronda Rousey apart and shock the world. Yeah, I don't know about that Shotzi. Sorry. But the main event was Drew McIntyre and Sheamus taking on the Usos, Jimmy and Jay. Main event, Jay Uso for the War Games advantage. As the one on Raw, good match. A lot of chaos outside the ring. Towards the end of the match, though, Sami Zayn tried to get involved. He tried to pass Jay Uso one of the tag titles. But Kevin Owens got in his way and took it from him. And they start fighting each other. Says, you're not doing it like this. You're not doing it like this, Sammy. Sammy takes the belt back, and then Owens just shoves him into the ring. And then Charles Robinson, who had not seen any of this, then sees Sammy in the ring with the belt. And then ejects him. And of course, as he's getting ejected, off a distraction, Kevin Owens is like, well, you guys can cheat. I'll do it too. Slips right in. Hits a stunner on, I think it was on Jay. And then off the distraction, Sheamus up for the bro kick. Hit the bro kick on Jay. And the babyfaces win the War Games advantage. Probably, though, just to have Roman Reigns be the very last person to enter the War Games match. I guess. But Kevin Owens, the obvious man who thinks he is the true Achilles heel to Roman Reigns' title reign, as he feels that he's had Roman beat how many times? Is that true? They may have given that illusion as well at Survivor Series, but we'll talk about that, of course, later on tonight. But yes, the babyfaces win, and that is SmackDown. But yeah, I like the stuff, of course, with the Bloodline and for the War Games match. We have all that. And then we also have what's it called again? I like the stuff with Dom and Ray. Again, seeing Becky back was cool, but again, I just wish it would have been done better. What was I say? The World Cup matches were fine. Stuff with Ronda and Shotzi was what it was. And what else is there? I feel like I'm missing something. Crap, I can't remember now. But yeah, I gave it a B-. A B- for the go-home show for Survivor Series. Let's hit the live chat real quick here before we go off the air here. Tyler's typical comeback, Charlotte, and split the world and tag titles. We got Wrestling News 365. What's up? I don't think Gunther should be scared of Braun Strowman. Me neither, but they're making him already afraid of him. Who do you think is winning the Intercontinental Championship? Who's winning the Intercontinental title off of Gunther? I still think it should be Sheamus. Again, do Sheamus and Gunther one more time at WrestleMania, get on the biggest stage, and have Sheamus win there to dethrone him. Although the way they're booking him now, if they book it how I think they might be, it could be Braun Strowman if it's not Sheamus. Where's Karrion Kross? Did he get injured? I thought he should be in the tournament for the crown. Who's going to face Gunther for an Intercontinental title? Yeah, well, maybe they stayed there to give him a breather. They're probably going to resume his feud with him and Drew for a third match after Survivor Series, probably. Do you think the Hell in a Cell match will get used now stipulation for Hell in a Cell will get you somebody gets called out now to be put in the cell. Yes, definitely. This is the other part of that match. I think Gunther versus Strowman should happen for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania 39 in a Hell in a Cell match since Gunther's scared. I mean, yeah, I'm going to do that. I agree there. Which could be a good match, of course, too. If Gunther, of course, actually fights Strowman, doesn't try to back off him like a freaking coward. Horseface should not come back at Royal Rumble. Well, she's going to be around at least until WrestleMania. But I will have a few things to say about Ronda Rousey when we do get to the Survivor Series review. So, we'll get to that then. But that, once again, is going to do it. I'm going to take a quick breather, maybe do a couple little things, and come up in a little bit and review Survivor Series tonight. That way I'll get at least those streams caught up with. I have at least a couple baseball videos I want to upload. I'm just trying to set up for a couple, two bigger videos I want to do, which I will explain, of course, all that after the Survivor Series review, which, of course, we will do next. So, guys, that is my review for SmackDown. I gave the show a B-. B- for SmackDown. What are your guys' thoughts on SmackDown for this past week? Make sure you thoughts down in the comment section below. Be sure as always to slap a like on the video. Subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter at the Club of the Man 1993. And make sure to shout for Meatball Sub. And follow me on TikTok at the Club of the Man 1993. Give that video a lot of love. My John Moxley TikTok, though, I made, has gotten over 5,000 views. And it's still, getting a lot of attention. So, hopefully, I will try to post a couple more, little shorts on TikTok. And again, it's just me testing out how I could expand on social media. And like I said, maybe I will think about creating an Instagram and a Facebook page as well for the channel as well. And of course, if I do that, I will probably change up the graphics a little bit because there's going to be a lot more info to put on here besides just my Twitter handle. Of course, I can't have everything be the same since, again, Twitter handle is different because, again, I can't have more than 15 characters. But again, it is what it is. But again, guys, I'll be back up here soon to review Survivor Series War Games 2022. And we'll be off from there. Take care, guys. Have a great rest of your night. I'll see you guys all later on. Peace out, everybody.